Hi, welcome to the Unnamed Podcast, episode 17.
Episode 17. I'm glad to be back again, but
yeah,
because we took
a long hiatus. It has been a busy month for us. Him with grading, me with finals. I graduated.
Yeah,
but
we had to come back.
We had to come back for this.
We were always trying to when is the next episode? But
it's really it's been really hard.
This time it deserves
whatever
is going on with our lives. We have
to stop and discuss.
If we have a little platform, at least 10 people watching, then we gotta at least take advantage of that and do something with it, right? And
just bring this conversation to
I think
everything,
and I think this is the little we could do. And if there's any reason to come back, this is the reason to come back. So what is the reason? Well, I don't think we have to over explain, but
the Uvalde shooting, the mass shooting.
Yeah.
20 is it 21 total? I don't want to get that wrong. 21 total.
Yeah, 21 total.
Yeah.
So I mean,
where do we begin?
One of the reasons why I also wanted to do this video is because there's so much information going on. So much information, and I wish somebody that I follow on YouTube or something could do a video like this where we're going step by step, analyzing what people are saying, what people are proposing, step by step, so that we can make some sense out of this. Because sometimes it's not easy to see things clearly when, of course, it's such a tragedy and people are still grieving and people are angry, understandably angry. I mean, I'm one of them. So it's hard to see clearly, especially with this topic. So I want to go step by step.
Yeah, and I was telling you that this time around, when you mentioned that where everybody's angry, like I don't think I've seen a reaction like this since with the mass shooting since Sandy Hook. But overall, I guess collaborative anger since George Floyd, the event with George Floyd, like. This is such a big...
And it needs to be as much as George Floyd, because it's all of our children. Brown, white, black, all of us, all of our children are in danger. And let's begin with the beginning, right? What happened? 21 people died, 19 kids, 2 teachers, and the Uvalde shooter was able to purchase a gun legally. So the system just goes to show how bad the system is here in Texas. No license. No gun license, no driver's license, no background check, nothing. The psychopath, I don't even want to mention his name because that would be too much of a...
Everybody knows. Everybody knows his name, everybody knows his face. We don't need him. We don't even have to put his... Nothing.
He purchases it without a problem. And that's one of the things that are being talked about today, that we're not going after people's guns. We're simply proposing what they're calling, one of the examples is a red flag law. Where this would have been averted if there was that red flag law, which is there's certain red flags that pop up. One of the red flags was that he had already threatened the school before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that could have. I did not know that. That would have been a red flag that could have appeared if we regulated weapons. It could have been averted.
Really quick, just to interrupt you, really quick. I feel like the people on this side of the argument, they're not even asking for a whole bunch. All we're asking for is regulations.
We're not
and the automatic rifles to be taken.
But
that's it. But go ahead, keep going.
The people it
just doesn't seem like a lot to me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep it, but it just doesn't seem like a lot to ask.
And it's good to have a dialogue like this.
Yeah, it's not a lot to ask. Like regulate their shit.
And you point something good because that's where they want to divide us. That they like to make people believe that everybody's asking for everybody. Let's take away everybody's guns. Let's do it.
That's but not the ask. That's not
okay. You want to purchase a weapon, right? A handgun, whatever you want. But not whatever you want. No, it doesn't. But okay, then there's got to be if it means that you have to wait a week more, or you have to wait an hour longer, so the process can be more certain.
Yes.
If it means that,
and you know what's insane is that the conversation.
If that means to save our children, a little bit more process.
And beyond that, I think the conversation specifically in Texas is that these regulations that we're asking to go back to, because this new de-restrictions happened a year ago. So it's just like what we're asking for is what we had before.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad that's what we're just asking to go back
when it comes
a year ago
when it comes to
because that's how far we backtracked with this new law.
I like that you say backtrack because we literally did backtrack. Mm-hmm. There was already the gun regulation system was already a mess. But here in Texas, Greg Abbott made it even more of a mess.
That happened I feel like that passed in January, right?
Yeah, where he was like, oh, you know what? And he was flexing on that. Like,
he was so excited.
I made it easier for people to buy guns.
It's so easy.
You don't need a license anymore. Let's buy more guns. I think there's even a quote where he says, why is Texas behind in buying guns? We have to stay in the first state to buy guns. And okay, then there's this whole argument where
let's talk. Are we going to move on to stupid solutions?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Stupid solutions.
It's not so much of a. I think the most. Well, we'll get to the. I guess we're from logical to more stupider, right?
Yeah.
More ridiculous. And one of the ones that are getting thrown out there a lot is mental health, right? That this is a mental health problem. That this wasn't that it's so easy to purchase guns. That it was because this person was deranged, and we need to find more of these deranged people and put them give them help. Okay, well, let's suppose that is the problem. Then why is there no money being funded into this mental health problem?
The money was taken away.
The people who are NRA backed politicians, they're saying no, this is not a gun problem; it's a mental problem. Okay, then is that the problem you're seeing? Well, then go fix it right now. Go do it right now because tomorrow somebody could do the same thing. If that's the problem that you're saying, if it's the way we're gonna fix this is to fix the mental health problem, then go do something.
No,
right?
And then I think I saw a tweet that Greg Abbott actually slashed
so
funding for
even if that was the problem, he slashed the funding from the mental health problem, the mental health funds. So that you could see how hypocritical it is. Like it's not really a mental health problem.
And let's just say that the shooter was mentally unstable. I mean, obviously he was, but okay. Then why is it so easy for somebody who is mentally unstable to get a gun?
So that's why
that's the root of oh my god.
So that's why I say do both. If you think it's a mental health problem, fund more mental health, right? And but also don't make it easy for these people with mental health to buy weapons. To buy
weapons to hurt themselves or to hurt others.
Anything to save our children. Like our children are actually dying. I don't understand how people are not mad about this. And one of the things that I keep seeing in Twitter and Instagram is, oh, please, let's not get political about this. Let's not get...
Who said it? Who was the one that said it? It's political because it's bad politics and bad leadership that led to this. Who said that? They just said that at the protest.
Who said that?
Stop.
But,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's how... I mean, how could we avoid talking about the safety of the children? When did it turn political to try to prevent another school shooting? Like, how is that even a division? And how...
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Why is this a divide?
And not only is a divide, well, they're trying to make it a divide, but it's also a way to silence our anger. Like, they're like, no. Let's not get into politics right now. Let's not speak about it. That's disrespectful. Then when? Until another shooting tomorrow? That's the time we're supposed to, okay, now we're good to speak about this issue. No. As soon as it happened, as soon as Sandy Hook happened,
even before Columbine,
all of this, it's leading up to this, and it's leading up to even more bloodshed. And there's no time. If it means that now I'm categorized as a political person because I'm over here trying to advocate for children's safety, advocate for regulation. If that means that I'm political, well then I'm fucking political. I think we all need to get fucking political. Then, if you're not being political, and it means that you're not wanting to speak about the safety of children, then what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh my god, you okay? It's the coffee.
It's the sorry.
We're pumped. No,
because
it's
and you know what? I know I'm not a parent, but you don't have to be a parent. Like,
no, you really.
I have a little sister who is the age of these kids who died, and every time I'm seeing these videos and I'm put into a situation, if that was my kid, if that was my sister, I wouldn't wait for what they're telling me to do to be respectful. No, I would go right now. I would go to the NRA, like how we just did today. We went to a protest, and we hold accountable these motherfuckers who are getting NRA money from the NRA. And if you're not familiar with the NRA, the National Rifle Association is basically a pundit for all the gun manufacturers, all the gun companies. And the NRA is work, or what they're there to do is to gather all this money and then donate it to the politicians, so that the politicians in turn can make laws that promote more gun sales, right? And
actually, you know what? Hold up. Our 2 senators.
Yeah.
The only 2 senators for Texas.
Who are these senators? Yeah.
Yeah. Ted Cruz, John Cornyn. Because people don't really mention John Cornyn, but he's just as negligent as Ted Cruz. So it says right here, Nicole Cobbler with Axios Austin, she reported that Ted Cruz and John Cornyn are 2 of the top 3 recipients of funding from gun lobbyists. Out of all of the senators. How many senators do we have? 50 times? There's 100 senators.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, yeah. Top 3, 2 of them are Texas senators.
Texas. Wow.
And then combined, they have collected more than $1 million from the gun lobby since they first arrived in Congress.
And this is so easy to, it's in that website. What's it called?
Open Secrets. Y'all need to, I just feel like this is really important, even for, like somebody who's not politically involved, in their field of work.
Yeah.
If you want to, I feel like if you're going to participate in really important conversations like this, dude, go to opensecrets.com. They talk about who gets paid from who.
On both sides of the aisle. Or not
paid, but who gets donations.
Both sides of the aisle. Democrats are not so
Democrats, yes,
so clean. There's a few Democrats. Well, when you click Democrats are taking, I think Biden took $565. I don't know how that even happened.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then other Democrats are taking $5. I don't know, but then you click on the Republican side, and that's where
hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Millions. No, collectively millions.
Oh, collectively millions. Yeah, millions. But each individual, they get like
$1,000 from the NRA.
Yeah.
So clearly we have, there's still a handful of Democrats that are taking also thousands of dollars, but when it comes to which side is doing it the most, you have the numbers there. I don't know how you can defend this.
Were we, oh yeah, the protests.
Hmm.
You know what? I did want to talk about this, and because when it happened, you could feel it in the air. So whenever Bethel left. Oh my God. Okay. So we get to the, protest. First of all, it is hot as hell. Everybody's sweating. Everybody's, tensions are high. Luckily nothing happened at the protest, but, as soon as Lina Hidalgo, what was her name? Rochelle Garza? I should have my notes. Anyway,
Rochelle Garza, yeah.
Rochelle Garza and, Beto O'Rourke, the big dogs. They talked and they did their speech, and then they left about midway through the gathering. And when Beto spoke,
there was a whole
crowd, everybody, a sea of people. It was really.
We're right in front of the NRA, so I'm over here thinking, "Oh my God, we're going to do something, right?"
Yeah, we're here. We showed up, and then as soon as Beto finished his speech, like half the crowd left after Beto. And I'm telling you, there was still like about an hour and a half and there were a lot of other speakers. They weren't famous people. They weren't politicians.
They were local people,
and they were the children.
Suffered, yeah.
The children, and that was how I
Even
wish.
The children
I wish
they were there. The kid.
I wish I'd gotten that coordinator's name. The man who was speaking, because he literally, like, once he noticed people were leaving and it was the kids' turns to speak.
Yeah.
He got on the microphone and he was like, y'all better turn y'all's asses back around and listen to these kids, because that's what we're here for. Yeah. So listen to the kids. This isn't for Bethel. This is not for his run for governor. We're all here for the kids. And they were pissed. And then also, I did get the woman's name.
Though, that he did that.
Her name, Debbie something. I should have got my notes.
Yeah.
Well, there was also another woman too who also called out the crowds that said, yeah, it's kind of messed up that you guys are leaving once Bethel leaves. And you could just feel it in the crowd. It's like, it was really disappointing. It was, but we stuck through the end.
The ones who stuck at the end, I think we arrived at something to do. Like, there's so many of these foundations, the Houston, what was the Indivisible?
Indivisible Houston, Moms for Action.
So many things we could do other than, because a lot of people think, yes, it's voting, very important to vote, but how do we get people to be organized? And it takes more than just voting, to get people to vote. So I think it did a lot. That's the reason why these protests also work, and.
Yeah, the speaker from Uvalde, I have her name. I could really get my notebook.
Well, we're going to play the video.
Right. But the speaker from Uvalde, she also says something important. So aside from the message of go out and vote, because that's actual action that we can do is vote. Aside from voting, I like what she said, where she said, you know what? If you take anything away from today, is bring this conversation to your family who says, why get involved? Or bring this to the conversation to your family that says, oh, we should just arm teachers on things like that. Like people who are saying those solutions that are not helpful at all, bring this conversation to them and say, no, like enough is enough. Like, no, we need to take away these automatic rifles. We need to get regulations. Like, what is so difficult about that? And it's uncomfortable to tell your family, and it's uncomfortable to tell your close friends. It is, but that's a good takeaway. Is look, just challenge the people who just aren't listening. It's
part of that thing that where they're telling us, hey, keep politics outside of the table. Hey, keep politics outside of the house. This is not anymore just politics. And if it is, politics has transcended to the point where now politics dictates whether children are going to live or not. So how can't we not be political?
And it's just like what that man said. I wish I'd gotten his name, but he said that this is bad leadership and negligence that has led into our everyday lives. It's not about politics anymore because everybody is affected by this. Every single person is affected.
Something that infuriates me more is that the same people who are telling us not to be political, and let's say we'll listen to them like, oh yeah, okay, let me not speak about it anymore. Well, go look at the other side. Go to Fox News. Go see what Representative Marjorie Greene and all these Republicans who are attached to the NRA. Go see what they're up to. Do you think they're waiting for a day of grief? You think they're waiting for you to be comfortable about talking about these issues? Hell no. They're already proposing the most ridiculous solutions. Like you said, armed teacher. Or one of the things that was being proposed, armed veterans. Or one of the things, more good guys with guns. And that's a problem because the police was already there when this psychopath went in. Like there was a gunfire between the two. The cops couldn't do anything with him. Mm-hmm. So they didn't let him, right? Because that's one of the things. There was a procedure or something like that. Yeah. They couldn't. I don't know if it was fear or procedure, whatever it was. Yeah. But at the moment where he started shooting back, they didn't follow him to the school. Mm-hmm. They let him in. Well, I know it sounds, when I say let him in, it sounds like, oh yeah, go ahead. But I don't know. I don't know what these cops were. No. So basically, the gunman. I actually read this on the. They reported. The police, the Uvalde police, actually let out a minute by minute rundown. So basically, the shooter was in the parking lot, and then the police arrived, and they were both in the parking lot. He even passed the shooter. Yeah. I guess he couldn't see, or maybe he didn't realize they didn't put that in the report. But at some point, because the police showed up, and he went to go speak to the person that called, or a witness or something. He's like, hey, what's going on here? I knowingly or unknowingly passing up the shooter, like passing by him. And so while that was happening, the shooter entered a propped open door. So that, yeah. Well, okay. But the idea of an armed guard, again, I'm just going to report what I heard at the protest because it's so true. Like, what did they say? Putting an armed guard, whether it's a policeman or an armed veteran, that's just putting yet another life, another human shield as a solution when there is yet another solution. Just regulate the guns. That's it. And that whole idea of good guys with that we need more. Representative Marjorie Greene was saying, we need to let these parents have guns too, because if she was speaking about the woman who was getting apprehended by the cops, who she wanted to go in and actually save her son. The cops were tasing her. She's saying, well, they should have let her in, and she should have had a weapon, and that's why parents need to be armed. There need to be more good guys. There need to be more good guys with guns. I thought the police were the good guys with guns. The police were already there. The police were there for an hour, until finally, I don't know what a conclusion they arrived to, but to an hour, while the kids, he was there in the school for an hour, literally picking how to kill these kids. And while they were waiting for more reinforcements or whatever they needed to do to actually enter. So the good guys were there. The good guys were there. And this false sense that we need more people with guns being present at schools, whether it's an armed guard, whether it's an armed teacher, the cops were literally there. Well, I did want to point out Gabby Diaz. She was also a speaker. She's been a teacher for 16 years. She was a speaker at the event.
and she said that in their training, because she's a teacher herself here in Houston, Texas, and she said that when the police train them, I guess they train teachers, which is insane, but anyways, they said that anybody engaging in a gunfight, when the police arrive, the good guys with the guns, there's no time for you to interpret who's the shooter,
that was a very important thing.
That was so important that she pointed it out. So it's like, arming teachers or arming guards is not a great solution because you will be shot.
The cops themselves said, we don't have time to realize if there's a teacher with a gun, we're going to shoot.
Yeah, they're going to. So arming anybody.
Yeah. So
literally even the cops themselves are saying that's not a good solution. So fuck that solution.
And
in the ass, fuck that solution.
I hate to see it, but I don't know. I'm seeing that. And again, it's another tactic to divert us from the real problem. Where now it's like, well, don't talk shit about the cops. The cops we're trying to help, and then this anger that we're all feeling now gets placed into whether the cops were doing a good job or not.
Yeah.
Focus
on the issue at hand. The fact is, the person
had easy
got
access
to the gun.
NRA is hiring these politicians to make it easy for people to buy guns, regardless if they're crazy or not, regardless if they're anything, right? One of the arguments was that, and this was by Candace Owens, that the reason this happened, it was because the person was transgender. And
oh my god! Oh yeah, and she linked transgenderism to
again another tactic to divide us from the real issue.
Yeah,
now making us angry about transgender people.
Well, I don't think a lot of people. Well, go ahead.
But I mean, just the fact that she tried to do it
is such a reach,
and people actually believed it. She ran with it.
People,
yeah, and it was this fake photo where trans person that looks like the psychopath, and then she just ran with it, and she's like, "You see, this is what," and it's like anybody. The problem is, again, focus. The problem is that anybody can have access regardless who they are. Like it's easy access, and it's letting psychopaths in any group, right, go and kill children. And I don't know, all I can say about this is just, focus and the ridiculous solution. All these ridiculous solutions.
Well, there's one more thing that common people say that I wanted to point out is, and again, it's from Gabby Diaz's, because I loved what she said. I think that she was really awesome. And she said how Ted Cruz usually says laws don't work because criminals like to commit crimes. So what she said is so basically the law isn't going to keep from happening. And so what she said is, if you hear a lawmaker saying that laws don't work, he doesn't need to be in that position, because he's saying, oh, like laws aren't doing anything. Well, then why are you a lawmaker? You know what I mean?
And
I just think that was really important to point out.
That's good to point out, because one of the things,
so lazy.
Another argument that
your whole job. Okay, go ahead.
These people are doing is that, well, why would we regulate guns if somebody wants to shoot up a school? They're gonna find a way to buy a gun anyway. Okay, well then why are you doing the above and beyond to ban abortion? Something that can happen even if somebody wants an abortion, they're gonna do it. But over there, they're willing to spend millions of resources to get that done. Something that is also, and so it doesn't even make sense. I think the important, how you said that what this makes it really singular is that we finally have them on a chokehold. All these NRA-backed politicians that tend to lean Republican.
Yeah, I feel like they're the only. Yeah, go ahead.
We finally have them on a chokehold that they can't hide from us.
No,
they can't hide. No matter what fucking excuse they're throwing out there, we're able to see clearly now.
Did you see?
And we have them by the fucking neck.
And you see them trying to gaslight people. Like, remember that? Yeah. Oh, who was it? I got it right here. Mayor Don McLaughlin. He's the one that was saying to Beto O'Rourke when he interrupted Greg Abbott what did he say? I can't believe you're sick son of a bitch to come to a deal like this to make it a political
like
issue.
If it's like if it's not how can we escape? Like, oh my god!
But like, shut up, dude. Like you know what really bothers me is that in that press conference, you got the governor, you have 2 senators and the mayor, and you're going to say this isn't a political issue. It's a press conference with 2 senators. Okay, anyways.
You can't escape politics.
And even if
it is politics, well then if politics, again, we go focus. If politics means fighting for our children, then okay, let's all get fucking political.
And
what's wrong with being political?
Politics is personal. Okay, politics,
people are just afraid of confrontations.
I feel like, and people don't want to have, there you go. People are afraid of confrontation. Because I think that every issue bleeds into our lives, especially something as big as this, because this affects everybody.
And it's how that poor kid from Uvalde, she said, like how you said that it's, if anything, I want you to get out of this is have these difficult conversations.
That was important what you said. I think that's,
if we don't talk about it, we're all gonna forget.
We're just all having arguments.
We're all gonna forget, and no solutions.
And you know what else? You really worry me whenever you said we're gonna forget, because whenever I think about that, I think of Sandy Hook. And then, like, that was 10 years ago and we're still in the same position. But then what I think about is that Uvalde is just as big as Sandy Hook. Why? Because they were children. They were fourth grade children. And it really, it makes me sad that we have to wait until we see little babies die.
Yeah.
You know? Like, people made pretty big waves with the Parkland shooting. Mm-hmm. But then you see people ridicule the high schoolers that survived.
Yeah.
And it's they ridiculed the fuck out of them. And I just felt like,
we're advocating for gun regulation.
Like, how are you gonna do that to them? Like, are you kidding me? And so I think that that's one of the reasons that this event is so big, because it is yet another large elementary school shooting. And it's fucking sad that we have to wait until little babies die. Like all of these other high schools and middle schools, and we can take it, but not the babies.
That's why I feel so angry when
I think that's important to point out, just for a little bit,
people are saying, "Hey, stop! Don't talk about this." What, you want me to wait until how you said until it happens again? You want me to wait now? That's the proper time to talk about it. We got to talk about this every day until something gets done. And the Sandy Hook thing, that was even more of a tragic thing, because people and their conspiracy theories, Facebook conspiracy theories, and one of the persons at the forefront with this was Alex Jones, that he was saying that the kids were crisis actors, right? That the body bags were
props, my god, that was so ridiculous.
The grieving parents were just actors, and it got so much traction that the poor parents of the Sandy Hook elementary tragedy, they got harassed day after day until finally they managed to get Alex Jones to court, and even after he apologized, he still hasn't really apologized, done something for the parents. And it's the same thing when the Buffalo thing happened. The Buffalo thing. When did the Buffalo thing happen?
About 2 weeks. A week before the Uvalde thing.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna believe what was sounding on Twitter with people who are pro-gun and all of this, believing in conspiracy theories. They were thinking that the CIA planted this guy, that it was another hoax. And I hate to say this, but for a fact,
there's somebody
believing that this is another hoax. That
I think a lot of people were saying. Because he's Hispanic, that he's on their side, and he's just, this is all, like you said, like a hoax.
It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking like, and most of those people who are so easily believing in these theories, they're waiting for somebody to clarify things or something. And I don't know. I still can't explain, maybe because it's so easy to believe and they're lazy to make more, to actually research it on their own. I don't know. But again, focus on the real issue. The real issue is that there's easy access to his guns. The psychopath, no license, no driver's license, no gun license. Bought the AR-15.
And this is a good segue into the question. What does gun control mean to you?
Well,
like, what to you? Like, because I've noticed that every speaker on that stage, they had a different idea of what it meant. Some people said, just AR-15s. Some people said, just the regulation. Some people said all gun. Like what does it mean to you, specifically you? Tell me.
Well, like to fix, I think this, what I'm hearing a lot that would have fixed this problem or would have averted it is the red flag regulation, where like that, like if they see in that it ties with something that's already been done in the past, then hey, red flag, you notify whoever it is you gotta notify, and we're not giving this person a gun because last week he made a threat to the school. But this literally happened with the psychopath. He did a threat, no red flag, nothing, right? Nobody's communicating with anybody, so hey, here you go. And again, I'm not against I'm not completely against guns because
me either.
I feel, unfortunately, we live in this world where people are armed, so sometimes guns can save a life, right? But make it regulated. If we could regulate alcohol, right? If you don't let an 16-year-old go, an 18-year-old go buy alcohol or even cigarettes now, right? You got to be 21 and up to buy cigarettes. Why can an 18-year-old buy a fucking gun without a license? How is alcohol and cigarettes more regulated than a literal fucking gun that could kill children? And this obsession with the AR-15, the weapon of choice for all the school shootings. We're talking about the Stoneman Douglas High School, the Las Vegas shooting,
I think most
the
of the
Sutherland
shootings...
Spring, the Post, the church.
Oh, you got a list right there.
Yeah,
okay.
And San Bernardino, Sandy Hook, all of these, AR-15 is the weapon of choice. So I also banned that AR-15.
Oh, and I wanted to talk about...
People keep saying they use it for hunting. How are you going to hunt a fucking deer with an AR-15?
Well, yeah, there is this terrible... in my opinion, it is just the most cringe article, but it is from 2018, so it was years ago, but still, I still think the fact that it exists at all, by John Shoup with NBC News. He just writes an entire article about why the AR-15 is so beloved in America, and I don't mean to promote this... article, but y'all gotta read this. It's just ridiculous. And then
it's a disgusting article. From what you've told me.
It is. And then I pointed out, he said devotees, not even like experts or stats, none of that. His source for this is devotees to the AR-15 say the AR-15 has been wrongly demonized, arguing that the vast majority of owners never use it in a crime, and that despite the rifle's use in mass shootings, it is responsible for a very small proportion of the country's gun violence. We're not talking about. I think okay, that's another thing. They blanket. No, but not just that. It's always the blanket argument, like for the country's gun violence. We're not talking about gun violence. We're talking about mass shootings. That's what's going on in this conversation right here. School shootings, but school shootings for the most part because of the children.
Yeah.
But mass shootings.
Yeah.
The reason that we're not talking about gun violence in general. There's going to be gun violence, right? There's people breaking into homes. You want a handgun to protect yourself. We get that. Okay.
Yeah, we get that.
We're not talking about that. Well, the conversation is the AR-15 and its ability to kill a shit ton of people all at one time. And people say that the reason that it's so beloved is because it's like super sleek and that it's become America's. Hold up. There are a few things there are very few things that serve such a great form and function and look cool. Oh,
and that's the thing. God. That's the thing with this whole problem is that put aside your coolness, your
and they call it the embodiment of core American values: freedom, might, and self-reliance.
That's the thing. We have to put aside this identity, this character. It's like it's fanaticism.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
It's not even. Some people are not even buying them for their protection. They're just fucking fanatics.
Yeah, they really like it.
They like the gun culture, and they
because
identify.
The bullet is stronger, and you're more likely to kill.
That's how that article says. They identify with
the bullets from the AR-15. They're more effective and they're more likely to kill. Okay, and that's wonderful, but you can kind of give that up.
Yeah,
you can give that up for a little handgun. Like you can do that.
If it's for protection. It's fanaticism. Put aside your fanaticism.
Also, what kind of marksman are you? Regulated, like to find if you need an AR-15.
Yeah, regulated.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you need a bazooka to hit a deer. Like, calm down.
That's what I'm saying. How the fuck are you gonna hunt a deer with an AR-15? Come on. That's just
lazy.
Stupid. Well, anyway.
I don't mean to joke. This isn't a funny, but come on. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, it's getting to a point where, I mean, this straight up, like, Trump, Ted Cruz, Greg Abbott, all the usual suspects. It's actually downright fucking dark humor that all of them are scheduled to speak at the NRA. Like, that's like a Saturday night sketch. Like, literally days after the shooting, they're gonna go speak at a National Rifle Association.
And even though they did not show up,
gun sales.
Yeah, even though they did not show up in person, they still sent a video to be shown to speak. So they still technically
Greg Abbott, but I think Trump is still scheduled to go on Saturday. Tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, for real? Okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, Greg Abbott did not appear. But the fact that he sent a video is like, bitch, you're still participating. That's like the same thing. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, but I want to point out, there is a march happening at City Hall here in Houston, Texas. So at City Hall.
Houston, or you could travel. I mean, a lot of people were not even from Houston tonight.
So on June 11th at 10 a.m. at Houston's City Hall, there's going to be a March for Our Lives, right? Yeah, a March for Our Lives, as mostly for this gun issue. But I think the Black Lives Matter movement, the Black Lives Matter organization, was the other one?
LGBTQ,
Indivisible Houston,
LGBTQ, the organization of LGBTQ.
The last one to speak. Yeah. The several organizations are going to be there, but
we're doing a coalition. We're like,
oh yeah, that's what they said.
Everybody's white, brown, gay, trans, whatever. We're all united for saving our children. Like,
because this is everybody's problem.
Yeah,
because if you know somebody, a little baby or a teenager, a middle schooler, because let's not forget about them, because they get demonized whenever they stand up for themselves. Anybody who goes to a large assembly, honestly, because I get nervous at the movies, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is everybody's problem. This is everybody's issue.
And I think, you know what? I think that's the only way this is going to get done, because it's I don't know,
because it hasn't happened to you yet.
Yeah,
and that's why
I don't know what happened. Where along the way we fell to that individualistic mentality. We're like,
let me interrupt you really quick. Let me interrupt you really quick, dude. What? When I first heard about Uvalde, the first day, I promise you, I didn't want to hear about it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to listen. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to read. And I think I only lasted about a day.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point you couldn't avoid it. You know, you had to. So it's like you said, individualism. Like you can't look at your life like that because it's gonna come in. Like and I'm sorry, but I think that
no.
If it hasn't happened to you, like be grateful that it hasn't happened to you because. Why would you wait for it until you're affected by it?
And that's
why would you do that?
That's what
you don't want it to happen to you.
I completely agree with you. Like we have to get rid of this individualistic culture that is in the U.S. where we're just staying in the U.S. until it happens to us, and we're only worried about it until it happens to us. And
that's not a way to live.
We have to form these coalitions, and don't wait until it happens to you, right? And if it has happened to you, well, we're here to be united, to help you. If you've been a victim of school shooting or a shooting in general, some gun violence, we're not waiting anymore if I share that quality with you, then I'll help you. We have to get rid of that individualistic culture, and we have to actually be a unity again. And not let these assholes walk over us. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna wait until it happens to me so that I could relate to you. If it already happens to you, then we're here. We're here doing whatever we can for you and for those children who might die in the future. Right? Nothing has been done today. Tomorrow, something could happen.
And also one more takeaway is just vote. I know you know what? I have this argument with my family, not all the time. But I've had this conversation, and to the point where I don't even have it anymore with them, which is my bad. Yeah. But just to try to encourage people to vote, because I'm already registered. Thankfully, when is the election? November, right?
November.
Well,
let's get
just do it out.
Let's get the hot wheels out. Let's get the human go kart.
I think this is it, y'all. Like this is it.
And very important that you said vote, because this will be honestly. I'm kind of nervous.
Historic election.
I'm kind of nervous because I think there was a poll. 89% of people in the U.S. all agree that there is gun reform that we have to do, right? So you're talking about the majority of the U.S. wants something to be done, right? And if it's going to be very disappointing if the majority of us want something to get done, and it doesn't get done because the NRA still remains powerful. If that happens, then everybody, ladies, gentlemen, everybody in between, the U.S. will fall. Because one, it shows that the democratic system, the democracy is not working. If the majority of people want gun reform, which it's been polled 89%. And we still cannot get that done, and we still can't move from that.
And it's from lack of
the
voting.
U.S. has officially fallen. If that happens,
I think that next episode we should report polling places or how to find that. I think next episode we should definitely do that. But also,
the U.S. will fall if the people can't get what they want, and the majority of people want guns reform. It's going to prove that if that happens and we all go and it doesn't work, it's going to prove that the NRA is more powerful than its people. Than the uses people. So I'm honestly nervous because what if we do see that?
I know, but you can't have that because it's like I've said in past episodes, the pendulum is going to keep swinging, but it's our job to keep it swinging. Yeah. So right now it's swung their way, but we got to swing it right back.
And like I said,
do what we can to keep
I can't stay. I used to be one of those people, like you said, like I don't want to hear about it. Let me stay on my thing. Let me focus on my own problems.
I still kind of have that problem. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but it's getting closer and closer. Let's not wait until it happens to us. And again, you don't even have to wait until that shouldn't even be a reason. It's already happening to another person. So let's try to get out of our heads and feel for the other people who are surrounding us in this world. Get rid of that individualistic attitude. Let's unite. Because if we don't, then we're letting these NRA-backed politicians, the NRA...
Well, not even just the NRA. We're letting a corporation run America.
And that's what I mean. When if that is the case, then the U.S. has fallen. Because the U.S. meant that the people, right?
The U.S. was meant for the people, not corporations. And if you allow this to happen, then you have failed the American dream.
And it's not even a political side. It's just...
It's just the way it is. It's everybody.
It's just the way it is.
Wow. Well, I think that's. We got to close it. I don't think we can say anything else about this. So leave comments if you want. We really encourage it. And just, I guess, keep on the lookout. Oh, next episode for sure. We should really talk about polling places. So, and we'll probably update it on social media.
Yeah. Or what you could do.
I think that's important.
Other things that you could do aside from just voting, because for voting you have to wait until this time. But there's things you could do right now. Yeah. So
go ahead and just thank you for listening, for taking the time to watch this video if you made it to this point.
Yeah.
And have those conversations.
And if you happen to be one of those people who are grieving, I'm sorry for your loss. And
oh my God, I can't believe we didn't even say that.
Yeah, just know that you're not alone. Again, we're pushing aside that until it happens to us, it happened to you, and we're here. We're here to help.
Wow, that was really nice.
Here to help.
It happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and close this. Thank you and goodbye.
In their name, in these names, in these names, in these names, in these names, I will never go back. I am planning, however it is. I hope you'll walk with me. I need you. You are the American people. You are power. You are powerful. Will you stand with me? Will you stand with me? Will you keep around? Will you stand with me? These are mass murders in America. Look at this. Will we continue to live in a house of shame? Will we live in a house of shame? That is a house of shame, but we are not. So will we live in a house of shame? No! Will we fight for gun safety legislation? Yes! Will we get it to President Biden's desk? Yes! Will it become the law of the land? Yes! I stand with you on their name. By the way, the WNBA spoke to me just a few minutes ago. They said,
what the most conservative Supreme Court justice to ever sit on the bench, Justice Antonin Scalia. Are you writing this down? No, don't boo him. Hold on. In 2008, in D.C. versus Heller, this is exactly what he said. Like most rights, the Second Amendment is not unlimited. It is not a right to keep and carry any weapon whatsoever, in any manner whatsoever, and for whatever reason. So if even Justice Scalia can make the point that common sense regulation does not infringe on our rights to defend ourselves, then we can find common ground and we can pass the laws we need just like the rest of the world has. gonna be my friend, but he became my friend. And I was like, yo, dude, I know you're running for office.
Trust you. You know why I know that we can't trust you? Because as soon as that privileged white man walked off the stage, so did your kinsman. We will hold your candidate hostage. Now you don't trust y'all. So I'm gonna pass this mic to these children because they're our future, and you're gonna stand here with some reverence and you're going to listen. Because black mothers said so.
Start crying. I'm not going to do that, I promise. The last time I spoke at a gun control rally was, I think, 4 years ago when March for Our Lives did something during Parkland. But I just wanted to say that Uvalde is a very small community. It is mainly of Latino families. Oh, I'm sorry. I spent my whole childhood and teenhood there. I graduated high school in that community. And it is a very, I know everybody always says, how could this happen in my town or my environment? And I truthfully asked that when it happened. I was absolutely speechless. I've been an advocate for gun control since I was 12 and I'm now 22. And I'm just asking for all of you to really have those hard conversations with your friends and family and your neighbors and your classmates. I know it's uncomfortable. I know talking about gun control with people whose first response is we should arm teachers and that you're crazy for thinking that is really difficult, but I am begging for my community. My cousin's wife lost a family member in this shooting. So I'm asking for all of you to please put yourself in those uncomfortable positions to talk to people, to make a difference, to make a change. Vote, sign up to vote. I see there's a lot of people here trying to get you guys to register. I just want people to know that that small town, even though it was small, it's full of all of my firsts. It's where I grew up. And we deserve better. Everyone deserves better. Your kids, your teachers. My mom is a teacher. She taught at Uvalde ISD.
We love you!
I'm just thankful to see all of you, and I'm grateful, and I just wanted people to know that that community was, although it was small, was kind, and it was sweet, and it's full of a lot of people's memories, and my whole hometown is healing and grieving. And even though I no longer live there, and I am trying my absolute best to spread awareness.
Estamos unidos este viernes en luto por las familias, por las víctimas de la masacre en Uvalde, Texas. Aunque nos encontramos asimilando este suceso lamentable, es importante exigir acción inmediata, seguridad de armas. Al hacer donaciones enormes a funcionarios republicanos como Greg Abbott y Ted Cruz. La NRA, por sus siglas,